This episode of the DJ Force X podcast is proudly sponsored by Fixed. Fixed is a fan and artist-friendly independent record label that specialises in hybrid electronic rock. It's home to the likes of Celduella, Blue Starly, I Will Never Be the Same, Richie Nix, The Algorithm, Voicians, CD Akira, and a whole bunch more. Check out their latest label sampler for just $1 at their official store, fixedstore.com. That's F-I-X-T store.com. Save 10% off your first order by using my coupon code FORCEX. That's F-O-R-C-E-X. They have loads of shirts, hoodies, stickers, posters, and many other accessories for all their artists, and this is available worldwide with fantastic international shipping rates to go with that. So head over to fixedstore.com and check them out. And don't forget, use my coupon code FORCEX. Hello and welcome to another episode of the DJ Force X podcast. This is episode 36 and I am joined by William, Declan and Danny from the band Follow My Lead, who have a brand new album out today called Spit, Kick, Revolt, and it's on InVogue Records. If you want to go check that out, it should be on your usual digital outlets as well. So yeah, go check it out. It's a really good album. Some great tracks on there. We go in depth into that in the interview, so I'll leave that for then. But yeah, just go get it, check it, listen to it, stream it, do whatever you do with your music these days, however you consume it. Just do it. To coin a phrase. Anyway, news this week. Best of the Bay Awards, Tampa. The Creative Loafing newspaper, weekly newspaper here in Tampa, have these annual awards for the Best of the Bay, and I'd like to get my show nominated. So you can help me with that by going to cltampa.com/BOTB and go to the People, Places and Politics. And there are two sections I'd love you to vote in. One for my radio show, Crossing the Stream. So that will be under Best Internet Radio Show. And then one for my podcast, which would be Best Podcast, the DJ Force X podcast, in case you didn't know. I mean, you're listening to this, so you should know the name. But if you can do that, submit. If you're here if you're from Tampa, anything else you want to like nominate in there, go for it. Or just hit send on those, and that will help me greatly, just to get a bit of exposure here in Tampa. Apart from that, from that, my radio show, it's on every Tuesday on Total Rock at 11 p.m. UK time, 6 p.m. East Coast time, and then every Saturday at midnight on the mix.fm. That's mixx.fm. And they're both available on TuneIn, the radio app for your phone. Also, it's on demand on mixcloud.com/DJForceX. Once it has aired, I do upload it to there, so you can stream it at any point there. And also, I put the track listings up on my Facebook page, which is DJForceX for DJForceX.com. Go there, and there's all my social media links there. Stumbling on my words there. Anyway, and also, if you can rate and review this show on iTunes, that would be great. I'm looking to get some more reviews on there. I've only got a couple at the moment, but if you're listening to this, just go on there while you're listening to it, hit a 5-star review, add a few lines of text, hit done, and it just goes up there and it helps me out. Helps the bands out as well, to be honest, the people I interview, because it gives them more exposure, because it puts my podcast on the charts. And that would be great. So anyway, this week as well, we had E3. So any of you gamers that are listening, there's a couple of games I'm really looking forward to. I got the new Quake game, which was awesome to see. Titanfall 2, I spent so many hours on that first one. Watch Dogs 2 looks pretty good. The Skyrim remaster as well. All the virtual reality stuff as well. Coming from the age where they used to stick a huge helmet on your head and everything was polygon and blocky. It's really come a long way to almost looking just like a pair of glasses on your head, which is kind of cool. We Happy Few, which is on the Xbox. That would be great. And Destiny's Rise of Iron add-on pack. That looks pretty good as well. That's coming out soon. So, if any of you are Xbox gamers, I'm on Xbox Live. That's DJ Force X. It's pretty simple. Just add me, tell me, you listen to our show, whatever, and I'll add you back. I'm going to do a couple more things in the coming weeks of the show as well. I'm going to try and do like a comic of the week, maybe a TV show of the week or a movie of the week, something like that as well, to give some recommendations. On this one, it's a fellow podcast and radio show. If you're into that kind of like dark wave, electro, synth pop type sound, check out Communion After Dark. There are a couple of DJs based here in Tampa. I discovered it about a week or so ago, and check it out. It's really good if you enjoy like that kind of music. Anyway, done enough rambling now. We're gonna head on to the interview. This is William, Declan and Danny from Follow My Lead. Enjoy. On my show today, I have three members of Ireland's Follow My Lead. I have William, who is a drummer, Declan, who plays bass, and Danny, who is the vocalist. Welcome, guys.
How's it going, man?
Yeah, good, thank you. How are you guys doing?
Very good.
Well, yeah, it's been a lovely day over here in Ireland at the moment.
Nice. I think it's about to storm here in Florida, so I keep getting notifications on my phone saying there's lightning and stuff coming, so...
Oh, no.
Hopefully it won't interrupt this, but, you never know. Anyway,
Here's hoping.
Yeah, it's open, yeah. So, just to start with, I just want to get some background on you guys, because you're coming out of Ireland. I don't know how long you've been going for, but you've got a new album on the way. I just wanted to get some background, see where you guys came from.
Yeah, sure. Well, you want to start, William?
Yeah, no worries. So pretty much the band originally formed in like 2013.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 2013.
Yeah.
But then, it was a very casual thing at that point. Me or Danny, we weren't even members of the band at that stage. It was much more of a casual thing. But then at the beginning of 2014, that's when I joined the band, and that's kind of when it was a complete lineup, and we started actually, putting music out there, putting content out there, and taking it as more of a serious thing. So I would say, since the beginning of 2014.
Cool.
Yeah.
And
yeah, we started.
Go on.
You go ahead.
No, I was going to say, from then, what have you guys? What are your sort of like landmarks you've done? Top gigs, anything like that.
Well, we did a couple of recordings for a couple of our singles, put them out there on YouTube with videos. They went down pretty well, got some good attention. Put together an EP called Sleepless and released that. Got hit up by, when we were making our second EP, got hit up by Fearless Records and signed to them, started producing this album, and moved on now to working with InVogue Records for our newest album, this album coming, Fit Kick Revolt.
Nice. So how did that relationship come about with InVogue?
Well, I actually had heard of them quite a while ago, and we were looking for a new label to put the album out and everything like that. So I actually just contacted Nick, the owner of the label, directly, and let him hear some of the new album, and he immediately was stoked and hit me up like immediately after and was like, "This is awesome. Can we get on a call soon?" And it just kind of worked from there. And I guess also in regards to what you were asking was like landmarks and everything like that. I mean, as much as digital stuff can only really matter, which obviously what you really achieve in real life is more important, but like if anything, like what personally is a big achievement for me, and I feel like a landmark was originally breaking 1 million views on YouTube. That was like a really big achievement for me anyway.
Yeah, for sure.
Nice.
Yeah, and we were lucky enough with the InVogue thing to have a full completed mastered album to bring to the table. He didn't have to hear demos or anything. It was fully there on his plate, so maybe that helped a little bit with the quality being there, so he could really judge the songs for what he felt they were good enough.
Yeah, no, I've literally just heard the album, got sent it today, and I listened to it on my way back from work. And it is a really good album. I've listened to it, I think, probably about 3 or 4 times on repeat so far. Which is
great.
To me, that's a good sign of an album, because if I go back and listen to it again, then there's something there that I want to listen to again. So, just like going through that, there's a whole bunch of tracks I really liked. I've got a list of them here. I've got Burning Man, Charcoal, of the Father and the Faithless. Sorry.
Yeah, it's a bit of a tongue twister.
Yeah, it is. It's all right. Don't worry. Abusement Park. and I actually really like Tsunami. It's a really good ending to an album. And that actually makes me want to go back and listen to it again, if that makes sense. It's like there's some albums that just kind of end. You go, oh, okay, cool. But that, I was like, yeah, I want to listen to that again. So
that's amazing, man. Thank you.
Yeah, no,
thanks for that.
No, thank you for making the music. You know, it's all on yours. So people can hear a couple of tracks now before the release date on June 17th. They can hear Jugular and Brainstorm. They're available on all the streaming and the YouTube, Apple Music, all that kind of stuff, right?
Not sure about Apple Music.
I think Jugular was on Apple Music. I'm not sure about Brainstorm though. I haven't looked that one up. So
we've got the video for Jugular out as well.
But yeah, I mean, InVogue, I looked them up as well, and I see they're actually home of bands like Courage My Love and Hawthorne Heights. They're sort of two of the other bands that I've heard of on that roster. So it seems like a pretty good label. Is it an independent label, or is it owned by one of the sort of bigger labels?
Yeah, it's an independent label. It's one of the, like, I know quite a few labels as of late, such as, you know, even Fearless, for example, have been bought by bigger labels, but InVogue are still completely independent. And I hadn't heard of many of the bands on the roster previously either, other than, you know, a few you mentioned, but having checked more of them out, you know, there's bands like Kingdom of Giants, Convictions, Dayseeker, you know, lots of really, really, really tight bands on the label. So, like, I don't know, it seems to be the type of label that is, you know, the impression we have so far is that they're very music orientated, which is, you know, they're not trying to push anybody in any direction that makes them feel uncomfortable just for the sake of sales. You know, they let everything really be raw and authentic within each individual band, so that's something that really appealed to us about them.
Yeah, they seem to let bands kind of like just do their thing and move along, you know, and they don't feel the need to kind of, they don't feel that you need to have massive like campaigns and all that kind of, like, you know, image-based stuff to front a band. They really feel the music is key, and it's a really nice way to go with it, I think.
Yeah, I did notice that by some of their line, the roster they had, and I did a little bit of research into them, just not as much as I probably should have. I would have found out if they were just independent at that point. But yeah, no, they just seem like a lot of the very like music orientated. They kind of they strike me more like a kind of like a Rise Records. I know they're sort of owned by a bigger label now, but they had that kind of like that core to them. With a lot of the acts on there, and like I said, I heard of a couple of the bands that I mentioned, and they're very different. One's kind of like a pop punky thing, and the others are more of sort of more on the hardcore edge as well. Like you guys, you're very like on that hardcore edge. So what would you say your influences were when coming
for this album?
Let's go in general. What are your influences generally?
Definitely a little bit of Architects and The Defiled, like Moss to Flames. Those three would probably be my biggest influences.
Nice.
For this album, you see, I did vocals after the album was written, and I'm not sure. Declan, do you want to?
Yeah, because we already had a lot of, like, you know, melody, and we were writing kind of the lyrics and melody stuff already ourselves, like in between picking up Danny and getting used to him and rewriting stuff to fit his vocal styles and stuff. Myself and Robbie, the other guitarist, did a lot of vocal work on that to try and like adapt it properly to fit Danny's vocal styling. But definitely, I'd say for my part and for like vocally part on the album, there was a kind of feel of some of the older style new metal-y kind of stuff. Slipknot was definitely there for a lot of us. You know, some of that kind of rhythmic building screams along with talking, and like some there's also some sort of kind of semi-rap influences, you know, some new metal, some Limp Bizkit, as well as newer stuff, North Lane, Watch Your Sleeps, Architects, like Danny mentioned, and some old Bring Me the Horizon featured in there a bit with us when we were writing. You know, it depends who you ask, but you know, we all had different influences.
Yeah, for sure. I think the guys definitely much covered it. If I had to, like, I guess so far from the two tracks we have released off of the album, the kind of, you know, not so much, nobody has said that it sounds like X or Y band, which is great, because in most of our old releases and a lot of releases that you do see coming out nowadays, there's lots of, you sound like this, you sound like that. We haven't really had any of that, but we have definitely had people saying they hear a lot of like Slipknot influence, particularly in the second track, Brainstorm, and
Yeah, that was mentioned. Yeah, we kind of like to take our almost take our own direction with it, but also, you know, you can't deny nothing's ever in a vacuum. So there's definitely influences musically and lyrically with it. But we did kind of sit and have our own spin.
Different sorts of music, you know, beside like, you know, death metal or deathcore, post-hardcore, pop punk, rock. You know, I even listen to quite a bit of rap music as well and everything like that, you know. But obviously that doesn't really play a big toll in the drumming in the album or anything.
Yeah, for sure. I think so. Those definitely matter.
Yeah, because I was like you said. I mean, there are definitely, I can definitely hear parts of various bands in there, but it doesn't sound like dead on that band. You know, you get some album, like you said, with some albums you can go, oh, that sounds like Slipknot. That sounds like you know, Foo Fighters or whatever along those lines.
Yeah.
But this album, there's little bits here and there, but it's always just a little bit. It's never like that song sounds exactly like whoever, you know.
Yeah.
So
hopefully that works.
It does. I mean, for me, that works. It kind of that's you know how bands should be, unless they want to be a full-on tribute to who their influences are. But you're taking from different genres. You're taking from different, you know, styles of band within the rock genre as well. So
yeah, I totally agree with you there. I think that comes from we all have different listen to different stuff ourselves. We all bring different influences to the table. All five of us, you know, so that might help.
Yeah. So how's the like how did this obviously over the past couple of years you've been involved in it, but the sort of scene in Ireland itself, is it it was one of the places I wasn't fortunate enough to go touring. I went to visit there a couple of times, but not with my band that I was in at the time. What's the scene like there?
It's up and down. You mean, you know, you yourself, anywhere you go. The times we have played around in Ireland, it's been the people we've played with have been very, you know, very good, very sweet to hang out with and play shows. It's been good. A lot of Ireland is aimed seemingly towards kind of older, kind of classic and harder rock. It's a lot of that around here in the Irish pubs and the rock bars and stuff. So it's hard kind of to get a foot in as a pseudo post-hardcore metalcore kind of style act. I mean, we don't usually genre specific ourselves, but like, I mean, if we have to be honest, it's somewhere more towards those genres. So it's kind of hard to get a foot in with the local crews are usually more hard rock and classic based. There's a lot of nice guys and good bands though, don't get me wrong.
And there definitely is a scene though, and there are quite a number of, you know, new bands and up and coming bands that are more in our type of metal, like metalcore, post-hardcore type of genre, you know. And there is, like, the scene is, I think, growing because there are a lot of new younger people now getting into the sort of music and starting playing instruments and starting bands and everything like that. But as Declan said, I mean, at core it still is very much a, you know, if you're not Lamb of God or Slipknot, then you're playing fag metal type attitude, you know.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
It doesn't change anywhere you go. So, so where have you been playing most of your shows? You've been going over to England itself and doing it, or have you been?
Anything we've done with Fall of My Lead has just been in Ireland. Over the past year, we haven't been playing any shows because we got rid of our previous vocalist and we didn't have a vocalist for the better part of 6 months, and then we found Danny. We had to sort of click with him, finish recording the album, and you know,
new label.
You know, like behind the scenes legal type things going on and whatnot, so it was a very like dragged out kind of 2015, first couple of months of 2016 where we, like, you know, to tell you the truth, we were dying to play shows, but it was one of the last things in our mind because we had so much other shit going on, you know. Now things are sort of back in shape, and we will be heading out later this summer doing a tour around Ireland. Then we'll be heading over to the mainland UK, and then now that we're with InVogue, you know, we'll be looking further afield to get some international tours around Europe, and then, you know, inevitably get over to the States.
Yeah, that's the plan.
But take it in small steps. You know, we haven't really had the best of luck with live performances, with changing vocalist and with our old vocalist and everything like that. You know, so that's definitely something that we do need to put more time into doing. You know, we rehearse together a lot, we play music together a lot, you know. We are, like, it's by no means are we not a tight-knit group at playing music together. We just haven't had the best run of luck to get out there and perform to people over the past year, you know. The last show we played was like Halloween 2015, which was actually a really awesome show though, but since then we've, you know, under the gun.
Yeah. And how have you kept people aware of you during that time?
That was a real big worry of ours with coming back into the scene was, maybe people have forgot about us now, maybe they've lost interest in us. Because it was very hard. There was times where we were making no announcements to anybody, for 2 or 3 months, and then just coming back with some form of announcement and being like, please God, let people still care. And people just seem to still care. Like, I mean, there was nothing really special to keeping people's interest. We just tried to stay as ourselves and let out what information we could, and people, like, I guess we can just say shout out to all the fans for actually being really cool and actually being loyal and sticking by us even though we were going through some shit.
Yeah, 100%. A lot. We actually really noticed that as a point from all of us when we finally announced a new label, new song, finally had some stuff in the pipeline that we could really share with people. It was a really tremendous response. It was really like kind of humbling on our part because it had been so long since we'd really made a tangible, concrete release, and it was just great to see so many people who'd been loyal, who'd stuck around, raise their heads and give some support. It was really nice. But I mean, during the time when it was kind of low, we were doing our best, sharing pictures, practice stuff from practice, little bits and pieces that we could, because we didn't really have any info we could really give out, which was really kind of grating all of our nerves. I think we were just dying to say something.
Cool. That's really good. You got a good solid fan base then. That is loyal to you as musicians as well, which is again a rarity because a lot of acts they kind of disappear, and then people do forget about them. And it happens, and then they have to like sort of start at the bottom of the ladder again and kind of keep going. But you guys obviously kept your fans kept that grip of you guys there. They were just waiting to see what happens, and they're still there at the end of it, and they're going to go out and get your new album when it comes out in a couple of weeks. So
yeah, man,
good. It's all good. So obviously you mentioned that you're going to play some shows around Ireland. Is there anything actually booked yet, or are you just still waiting for some?
There's nothing that can be announced as of yet, but it will definitely be going ahead.
Cool. So on that subject of touring, who would you love to tour with if you had someone if you had the choice, if you will? So
the choice. I'd love to tour with While She Sleeps. Yeah. I think would be fantastic.
Cool.
William, you got any personal loves there?
Well, I mean, if I had to tour with anybody, from a personal level, not that I think it would particularly correlate with our music or anything like that, I would just really love to go out on a tour with Attila because I love that band very much, and I would just love to see them live for a consecutive amount of time, watch them live every night. I would love that.
I knew you'd say that.
Cool. Yeah, I played with them. How long ago was this? I want to say. Actually, it was a long time ago. It was probably about 5 or 6 years ago. They played in the UK. They were touring with. I was actually a part-time member of this band that we played with for this show. They were called Fury, and I was sort of like a hired-in gun at that point. But no, we played with Head P. They toured with Head P. Head PE.
Oh, yeah.
Across the UK, and we played a couple of shows with them and Attila. And
good times.
Yeah, they're a good band. I haven't heard that name for a while, so yeah. I was just trying to make sure it was the right band, but I think it is. So.
Yeah, they popped up and got really popular fairly recently. Released some really good music,
Oh, okay, cool. Because this was a long time ago. This was I'm trying to think how far back this was. Probably around 2012, 2011.
Oh man.
So it was a while ago.
Yeah.
It was before I moved here to the States, so it was around that time. So.
Yeah, I noticed your accent didn't sound particularly stateside.
No, it's not.
Danny, do you have any touring bands you'd love to tour with? I'd say maybe a lot like Moth to Flames or something like that, maybe.
Yeah, definitely Sleeps and Moth to Flames. Those are the two ideal touring bands for me. That'd be class.
Yeah, should get you guys on the Vans Warped Tour as well. I think that would be a good one for you if you ever come over here.
That would be amazing.
Seems to be a good touring festival to get on for a lot of new bands. Especially if your sort of style as well. I think it would fit really well into that festival. So
yeah, here's hoping,
But that's like a dream gig, isn't it? So
100%.
All right, I've got a couple more questions left. Just some ones about you guys as musicians or people. So I'll go on. I ask this to everybody I interview, so everyone usually gives up some. It's usually a tricky question, but it's usually some good answers. So between you each, your 3 top albums that influence the musician that you are now, or even the person that you are now.
3 between us or 3 each?
Oh, 3 each, if you can.
All right. That's tough.
I mean, I think I could do this one quite well. I mean, first off would be Good Charlotte's first ever album, The Young and the Hopeless. I was like maybe 9 or 10 years old, and I picked up that CD from like HMV back in the day, and I just listened to the crap out of that album like for years and years, like just as I was, growing up, becoming a teenager, lying in my room, being a little soppy teenager, listening to the album. Just absolutely just loved it to death. And then I'd say the second album would be the Red Jumpsuit Apparatus, Don't You Fake It. Another album, like most of these albums were coming back from when I was, much younger. Like this album I dug when I was like 15, 16 type of area. I just listened to it to absolute death. It's probably my all-time favourite album. It's just phenomenal. And as for the third one, that one's a bit tougher because there's like too many potential ones that could be the third one, but those would be the top 2 for sure. But come back to me in the third one.
All right, cool.
All right. I think I have at least 2 for mine. I'd say definitely good. Like you got to start early. Definitely Funeral for a Friend, Casually Dressed, and Deep in Conversation. I think it's a fantastic album.
Yeah, it's a very good album.
Yeah, it's just stuck with me ever since. It's a shame they've headed on now, but fantastic band.
Yeah.
I think for the second one, I'm not as much a mega fan anymore, but I would have been when I was young. Definitely The Poison by Bullet for Valentine. I absolutely adored that album when I was younger. Definitely influenced like playing. And then like maybe a tie between like Limp Bizkit, Chocolate Starfish, and like Slipknot's Subliminal Verses.
Okay.
They're both just super good albums. Like, not much more to be said about them.
Nice. Cool.
Danny.
For me, I think the album that got me into metal, like when I started listening to the heavier kind of style of music, the first album I listened to was Toxicity by System of a Down.
Great album.
That was an amazing album for me. And what got me into like the more dark kind of industrial type of metal was definitely Grave Times by The Defiled. And then for the third one, I think
Sleeps, Whitechapel.
Whitechapel.
Sworn In, like.
Oh, Sworn In. There's too many choices. You're gonna hear William go for your third one.
Still pretty undecided, but I mean, if I was to stay true to what the question is and what type of albums would I say like got me interested in being a musician and helped mold the person I was, like none of the albums I've mentioned are like metal albums, and all I really listen to for the most part is metal. But the third one I would say would be Three Cheers for Sweet Revenge by My Chemical Romance.
100%.
Just used to just spin the shit out of that as well. Absolutely loved it to bits.
Nice. So, what do you do? What do you guys do away from music? What are your hobbies? What are your sort of, if you're not playing guitar, bass, drums, singing? What do you guys do?
Well, for 4/5 of us, except for Declan, we're all just big vape nerds. We just love vapes and building and shit like that.
Nice.
Yeah, man. I love art. I am a big art guy. I went to art college, did a degree in it and shit, and I just love drawing and shit.
Nice.
So that kind of stuff, making that. I love photography, video and stuff, photo editing, all that kind of stuff. Really big into it. I'll be doing that kind of stuff. Also, I'll get you some of the maybe less cool hobbies. Some miniature wargaming, because that's totally cool.
Yep. All right.
Warhammer and the like, and just stuff like that. Like, probably that.
I was going to say that's quite common on a few musicians I've interviewed. Very much into that kind of Warhammer. I had a couple of guys who are into like the LARPing side of things.
Oh yeah,
and all that kind of stuff. So it's not unusual,
That's
you know.
that's class. I didn't give me no man who they are. I'll give them a game. Like,
Yeah, I'll let you know. They're from England, so I'll let you know who they are. So
oh sweet.
yeah,
We dig things like, I mean, between all of us, we're all so quite into tattoos and everything like that as well.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
quite into tattoos.
nice. I could actually see from the video of you right now, you got a huge neck tattoo and everything. So
Yeah, love tattoos.
cool.
Danny's the only one with no tattoos so far.
Yeah,
You big loser.
you're gonna get some of that.
I went down the piercing route, so
Oh yeah.
yeah, I haven't got any tattoos, but I had a fair few piercings back in the day, so
Nice.
I'm only down to 2
I-
now. So
Yeah, me too. I've only got the snake bites. That's it. Like, I never went past.
that's exactly what I've got as well. I had the
It's
before.
just grand. Like,
I know it was before the days of Disturbed as well, so it was kind of.
oh, Disturbed. Like,
I know.
what a band.
Yeah, they're coming back again.
I see. Yeah,
They covered Sound of Silence, and it's on the radio constantly here.
nice.
It's going to do them well. They seem to pick the right covers to get a lot of radio play. So
Yeah, I really I like them a lot. They're definitely really good stuff. Like, I really liked Land of Confusion, that cover. But
Yeah.
just great. Just
yeah.
great.
No, they're a fun band. And
Danny.
yeah,
Well, I'm still in college. I do music production and stuff, and I do a lot of studio stuff at home. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all I do.
do you guys obviously? One of you say you're an artist. Did you do the art for the album?
I did indeed. Yeah.
Yeah, and did you do your own production for the album as well? Sort of combining the two hobbies there.
No, we were lucky enough to have the great Fredrik Nordstrom in Studio Fredman in Sweden do our production. He was fantastic to work with.
Nice.
Yeah, really great. We had we had most of the production and the album production in the pipeline before Danny was part of the band. So it's been fantastic. He's obviously like great at what he does at like music, and like, you know, he'll say otherwise, but he's you know, definitely good at the old production. But yeah, we had Fredrik and Henrik and Johan from Studio Fredman working on our album. They did a fantastic job, though. Really great.
You're good, Danny, but no harm. You're no Fredrik Nordstrom. That man's a genius.
No, it's a really well produced album. I was very curious because I forgot to mention it. Well, I was going to mention it at the start when you guys said you had it recorded. Obviously, was it self funded or did you crowdsource this?
Well,
or was it?
that was whenever we were still with Fearless Records.
Oh, okay. And then did that just fall apart? Did the label fall apart, or did you just get released?
See, that's something we've just kind of never really talked about before or went into before. But long story short, it was just like friction between us and the label due to problems with our previous vocalist, which is why we parted ways with him and everything like that. So it was just a whole, to put it in the nicest way possible, a whole big massive fuck up, you know. Us four guys who were in the band already, you know, we went over to the studio, we killed all of our instrumental recordings, we did everything we physically could, but whenever one person isn't playing as a full member of the team, then it lets everybody down, you know.
Yeah, no, I can understand that. So, and they let you walk away with the album as well.
Well, no, that was a whole big.
That was a whole big legal feud.
Yeah, we took a long
that's-
time.
Yeah, you were saying about legal. I thought it was, yeah. Okay, so but obviously you won that battle, is that right? Or is there still something?
We took our time. We took our time. We paid our dues, and we own it now. So
Okay, well that's really cool. That's always good to hear because there's a lot of bands get tied up in that shit, and it doesn't never works out for the musicians. So,
oh yeah,
but obviously you guys you got that side of things. You took, like you say, you took your time, you waited it out, and you got what you needed to get out of it. Because I've seen bands disappear completely before and not come back for many years because of that. So it's
we came close, man. We came close. I'll tell you that.
Well, it's good you got out of it because you've produced a hell of an album. I'm sure they're gonna be, pissed off the fact they didn't get to keep you because it is a really good album. I think it will do you well. So.
Thanks, man.
But yeah, so finally, where can people reach you? What are your Twitter handles or Facebook or anything like that? Where can people check you guys out?
We mainly work on Facebook. Haven't got around to setting up a website yet, unfortunately. But we were on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, largely. I think it's at FML, Follow My Lead Band on Instagram. Facebook is, here, give me a second, I'll just pull it up for you.
Facebook is facebook.com/follow my lead band. The Instagram is at follow my lead band, and the Twitter is follow my lead IRL.
There you go.
All right, cool.
Of course, iTunes.
There's iTunes, Spotify as
YouTube,
well.
On YouTube there, follow my lead. Most of our last couple of releases and all of our new releases will be obviously on the InVogue Records channel. So those places find us.
Oh yeah, and we're hoping to put a couple of videos, band updates, little videos and bits and bobs, tour updates and stuff on our own YouTube. Follow My Lead Band. Oh no, is that Follow My Lead Official? I think it's Follow My Lead Official.
Cool. Well, thank you guys. Thank you for your time today.
Thanks a lot, man. It's been great.
It's been a pleasure speaking to you. Good luck with your album. It's out on June 17th. It's called let me bring it up. There we go. It's called Spit Kick Revolt. It'll be out on InVogue. It'll be out on every sort of download source, so iTunes, Amazon, wherever you get your music from. Physical release, is that happening as well?
Yes,
it is.
If you go to, I think let me just get the URL really quick. It's on the InVogue merch store, so it's like merchnow.com/catalogs/follow-my-lead, and you can get like the physical CD, loads of different t-shirts, like t-shirt bundles, posters, everything like that.
Nice.
Yeah, it's up on pre-order right now.
All right, cool. Well, yeah, guys, thank you very much. And yeah, good luck with the album.
Thanks very much, dude.
No worries.
Thanks for having us. We appreciate it.
No problem, guys. Have a good one.
Later.
Thanks a lot.
Bye.